Hello, guys. Okay, so we have a lot to do today, a lot to cover. Okay, so we're going to start with some of the things that are happening, and I have questions to answer. And Wendy Zerby, it's all on probably Sunday and Monday. She has been a wonderful person and put in a request for fire, provided me with the sketch, did everything. She just wants to know how to do it. And I have accommodated her, and I have a really great video coming up. It just needs to be edited. Okay, Ford Kenny, I'm sorry. Kenny. Okay, you like the black. I get excited if Kenny gets excited because Kenny he is let's see, he is the one person I get away with nothing with. If there is a smudge that's not supposed to be smudged, nobody will notice it. And Kenny, I know it's like, uh-oh, Kenny's going to see it. Misses nothing. So, of course, when I do something totally right and he gets excited about it, and he's like, I love the black. And I'm like, oh, no. Okay, I just wanted to demo the black one more time so that I don't want people to think that it's such a mystery thing. This is the best Sharpie for black I have come in contact with. Okay, this is the Sharpie Paint. Can you read that? Paint Penetrator. And that's an oil-based marker. It's really thick. Okay, and it gives the best coverage. Now, you have to shake it up. It has, like, that little ball in it. I'm probably running out of it. I've had this one for a long time. And to get it primed, you just bop it up and down like you do any paint pen. So this is not a marker. This is an oil-based pen. And then you go across. It's really thick. And it dries very smoothly for black. Probably the best black that I've ever used. Now, it doesn't dry like a marker. Markers can streak. This has a little bit of streaking, but it doesn't matter because what I do afterwards, now I do it in two different ways to get my black background. Sometimes I actually take the background, put the black on, and wherever I want the black to be, and then I copy over on my printer the black background with the white background. So this way I kind of have my paper being two-toned, and then I can cover over it. Now I have my black pencil here, and if I do circles on it, I can literally cover this black background to a smooth finish in two coats, and it's really smooth. One of the best black backgrounds that I can do. And what's good about if I use my ink printer and I get a really smooth background wherever I want a dark background, it takes, look at that, my white. So that's my little trick. You got to get one of these. I'll leave the link in the description. They're not even expensive. So that's the black. That's how I did it. And when you spray this black, that's when it goes over the top. You put a gloss spray on it and a sealer, and you have like it's beautiful. It's perfect. And it's the fastest background that I can do. I got to get these pens. It would be really great. I have to look to see if they have them in other colors. I bet they do. So I would love to get like a whole bunch of colors of these, and then you can do any color background that you want. Could you imagine? You could put black with white and blue and do all sorts of things. Copy it over, have that, and then all the tooth that you need on your paper still. So that's that. Oh, okay, next thing. Okay, I remember. I got one of my subscribers. I don't really like to name names unless it's somebody that I'm really super familiar with, because I don't know if somebody wants their names put out there. So I don't always do that, but the people I do are people that I'm very familiar with, and we have correspondence going on all over the place. So one of my subscribers put in a thread, and I was reading it, and I was like, whoa. We've talked about this in the past, using your books. And I wanted to relate a story to you. They were saying they were afraid to use their good books. And one of them, and I don't mean to call them old, but she's a senior citizen. What are you waiting for? I mean, seriously, what are you waiting for? Now, I want to just go over a little story. This is a personal story. My children, oy vey. Can I complain about my children? Well, I got all their lives, okay, all their lives, I was saving things for them. You get this and you get that, and someday you're going to inherit this, and I'm going to give you this when you get married. And my kids, all their lives saying, nope, I don't want it. Ew, that's ugly. I'm not taking it. So I've got 3 biological children and one that I had, her parents passed away. She came to live with me. We are biologically related. And I view her as a daughter, although we are biologically cousins. So when her parents passed away, she was young, and I took her family things for her, and I kept them all these years because someday you're going to want this. Let me tell you something. Kids these days don't want your junk. They really seriously don't. The last time she came to visit me, I was all excited. Now she's married and I was like, it's time. You could take your stuff. And she smiled and said, oh, yeah, yeah. And when it came time for her to leave, she was out the door faster than, like, lightning. I called back, you forgot your stuff. And she started to giggle. She goes, I know. She don't want her stuff. Does not want it. So now I'm down to 3 kids. My oldest gets married. She buys a house. Finally, all the things that I've wanted to give to her, and I knew she was going to love and appreciate because they came from her mother, she wants none of it. She took one thing. One. It was a little genie jar. Well, I call it a jar because remember I Dream a Genie, her bottle? Well, we had this decanter that looked just like a genie bottle. And when she was really young, it has a really narrow neck. Okay, we never use it. It's a tchotchke. It sits on a shelf. You don't use it for anything. I can't imagine ever needing to use this thing. And it's silver, and it has like gold on it. It's actually very pretty. But when she was a little kid, I told her there was a genie living inside of it. So when she was little, she would talk to the genie and try to look down the neck. And one day I caught her sticking Doritos down the neck of this thing. And you can't get it out. Like you literally, like it goes in like this really long fluty neck and into the bottom. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I feed the genie. And she had been stuffing food down in this thing. I didn't even know. So I left the food in there. Yes, I know it's gross. It's only a couple of crumbs. But, I mean, now I would imagine they're like little rocks. But when you shake it, it shakes like a rattle. And it's the crumbs that she fed her genie. It was the only thing she took. Literally, the only thing. So, a couple of weeks ago, I made that video with the doll. Do you remember, like, the spooky doll? And I was like, this is her doll. I was going to find a place for this thing. It's been in my house all these years. She's going to love it. It's the doll she hated when she was a kid. And her husband came to my house. And I said to him, oh, this is Brittany's. And he was like, oh, okay, no problem. Well, no sooner did he got home with this doll that I got a phone call from Miss Brittany. Don't you ever give my husband anything. He's not allowed to accept anything from you. Okay. But he said he liked the doll. It was pretty. So she says, he likes you. He knows the rules. Now, the rule I trained my son-in-law as well. You know the expression, happy life, happy wife? That doesn't apply here. Not in my family. I'm the queen. It's happy life, happy mother-in-law. So my son-in-laws are really good. Like, it's anything I want. They're like, yes, yes. So he never says no to me. So I am now specifically not allowed to give my son-in-law anything. Nothing. So, what were we talking about? Oh, books. So here you have these books. And you love your books. But what are you going to do with the books? They're not valuable. They're as valuable as what you paid for them and less because you took it out of the store. These are not collector's items. They're not rare. And as soon as the next book comes out, it's like, the new book of the day. So that's why we end up with so many books on our shelves. Why aren't you coloring in them? What is the worst thing that is going to happen? You're going to screw up a picture? Do you know how many fun pictures I get to look back on in my books and go, wow, this was the first year that I started coloring. Look at what I did then and look what I did now. Now, say something happens to me, knock on wood, these books are going to be where my kids are now going to look in these books. The books are filled. Their mother did the work in the books. And they're going to want these books. But I guarantee the books that are empty will probably be given to like the nearest 4-year-old. Honestly, my daughter that does art doesn't color in books ever. What are they going to do with my big collection of coloring books except give them to kids to color in? So those beautiful books that you are saving because you are afraid to color in them, you're not enjoying it. You're not loving it. Kids nowadays don't want them, don't want your junk. And in fact, I was watching a YouTube video on minimalism. And there was one person on there and she was talking about how your kids don't want your junk. It's not like the olden days, and consignment shops are filled with all these treasures that technically have worth, but nobody wants them because these millennials like this minimalistic life and they don't want your junk. It's not like me. When my mother said, I have this for you, I said yes because it was my mother and she was telling me I had to have something. My mother, her good china. Kids today don't go out and buy china when they get married. That was like a big thing when I was younger and my mother, everybody got china. Do you know my good china? I have Lennox dishes. Barack crystal. Well, I inherited that from my mom. And I have had these things all my life because I had them as a child. I do not ever remember using them as a child, ever. And now I have these things, and I do use them because I want to enjoy them. Somebody's got to. And I said to my children, someday I will give you this set. Now, we all know Lennox is good china. None of my kids, they all looked at each other like, you get it. No, you take it. I don't want it. What do you do with good china? You can't put it in the dishwasher. Well, you wash it by hand. By hand? Who washes dishes by hand? You get the point. They don't want your junk. Enjoy your books. And moving on to the next subject. CMW. Okay, I will leave a card in the upper. If you are part of the CMW workbook group or want to join the workbook group, I'm putting all the CMW is on another channel. It's going to be very organized. The first video is going to be out sometime next week. I'm just waiting for a couple of people to receive their books. And they asked me, oh, I'll be ready this time. And I'm just letting everybody get their stuff together. So everything will be up there probably in the middle of next week, or maybe like Thursday of next week. And I'm going to handle that as a completely separate channel. And if you would just like to sneak a peek in there, you're perfectly well to join the fun and the party on the channel. And it's going to be a no-nonsense group. We are going to learn our colors. And that's what the CMW workbook does. It's going to teach you what each color does. Okay, I have a couple of people who asked me to do birds. And you will be happy to know that a bird has been picked out that we're going to do. We're going to be doing a cardinal. And the picture got approved. The picture will be available for everybody to use as a reference photo. It's free download. No, you don't have to join any site. I'll just be giving you the URL. It's a very pretty picture. And we're going to do a bird. And another person, one of my subscribers, put in a request. They wanted bright sunlight on leaves. I have not forgotten about you, and I have not forgotten about your quest. And guess what I found? I found this cardinal on a black background. So we're going to do another black background for this with bright sun on leaves. How'd that work out for us? So that's coming up. I just found it yesterday, and my friend Ken is one of the people that requested this, and I sent the picture over to him, and he's like, yeah, this is what I mean, and I'm positive it's like what the other people mean too, because they want birds. And we're going to be able to get detailed with this, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go hyper-realistic on it. Now, when I go hyper-realistic on it, you can do this stuff and the techniques in your books. I'm not forgetting about you book people. We're going to up your ability. We're going to get your skills going. So there's going to be a lot of things that I'm pointing out when you get hyper-real, that even if you can't do hyper-real, if you strive for it, each time you will get better and better. And we will go right through that in that video. So that's coming up. Another thing, okay, we're going to do really wet stuff. I've seen so many pictures where people have tried to do the wet look, and they put like something that looks like this. And that's wet. We're going to do some designs that are going to make flat things look like they're dripping in oil. And that's coming up really soon. And we've got an interview, get this weekend I have an interview with a colorblind person, and they have a very unique ability to see tone that other people cannot see. So he's going to be giving us his perspective on this, and it should be really interesting, because when I sat down and listened to him talk, he was amazing. It was like I was captivated, because I am so into what he was talking about, and he cannot see color. So that's coming up. We have a new series coming up. See, I'm keeping on top of things. A new series called 10 Things. I have almost 400 videos, and people are starting to have trouble finding things. So I'm going to start curating different things for you. I'm not saying how often those videos are going to come up. I'm working on several of them, because I have to curate, and go through things to get the information for you, and pull all the back stuff out of my other videos. But it'll be examples like 10 ways to highlight. And I will give you all the highlighting tips that I've put in all the videos from the past. 10 products that I use over and over again, because I'm constantly getting asked, what do you use for this and what do you use for that? And I will have my 10 top products that I can't live without. And there's, I mean, I'm working on a bloopers reel, stuff that gets cut. Like the day I was working on a picture and I dumped my coffee cup up over it. There was one, like a fly landed on right in the middle of my desk. And I'm like, oh no. I didn't want anybody to think I had flies in my house. I mean, just blooper stuff. Things when I've screwed up words, like I don't screw them up all the time. So that's coming up. Oh, and I have 3 pictures coming up. And for those who asked me for the water stuff, now, a couple of weeks ago, we voted on what we wanted to see in a picture. And I have the results of the voting and everything. You guys wanted to see the colorful sky with a waterfall. Well, in looking and doing research into, a reference photo, I was coming up with that if I'm going to teach you how to do rock and like mountain work and rock that's close enough for you to see the details in a waterfall, I have to teach you how to do a rock. So all of that may be too advanced for one, in the way I teach it. I don't want to just scrunch over and do a hyperlapse on those type of lessons. I want to teach you how to do that. So what I've come up with is 3 different pictures. I'm going to show you how to do waves, ocean waves. I'm going to show you how to do underwater because I had another request from somebody to do underwater. So I'm going to do it in 2 different videos. And then I'm going to show you how to do water on a beach and foam. The foam is the same technique as a waterfall. So technically I'm getting all of it in. They've got sky, which I will do the way you guys wanted it, which was the colorful sky is what you preferred. I think I'm going to go a little bit more colorful than what I showed you in the picture. The picture that I have for reference is very bright, and I think I want to try that. It's like a sunset with all the multicolors in the sky and the clouds. So that's that. And let's see. Oh, and finally, congratulations, Melody. I am so happy you are feeling better. My poor Melody was sick for a little while, and she finally is able to sit up and draw. So, yay. Love you, Melody. And the last thing, let me see on here. Okay, is a question. And that's why I left it for last. Okay, yesterday I put out the video, and I will leave the card up there. It's yesterday's video. It was the one talking about the light fastness. And at the beginning, the funny intro, I said you needed a certain security clearance to pass. Now, you weren't supposed to go on in the video if you didn't have this security clearance. What was that security clearance? And what does it mean? So you guys tell me that in the comments below if you could figure out my little puzzle. And I will see you guys in my next video. I will now put up the video of the room tour and some of my daughter's art. Some of her work in progress and a kid, I think. They're works in progress, but you're about to see that. And of course, there's Puff, and I will include some video of Puff, so stay where you are, and I will see you guys in my next video. Here comes the vlogging. He loves to swim. That's like his favorite thing. Every day when I fill up the bowl, he can't wait to get into it. He'll get in and out of that thing 100 times in the course of the day. There he is. he's going. He easily climbs out of that. It helps him stay cool. It's his favorite time of the day when the sun is really hot in the cage and he gets into the pool. It's a big cage. Right, Puff? Huh, Puff? He goes under the water. I have a big kiddie pool that he also goes in. Loves it. It is hot out today. He's a happy boy. I don't know if they're desert animals. I don't know if they're supposed to swim, but Puff has loved swimming ever since he was, like, I had him. This is really good for his skin. He's soaking in the vitamin D. This is why I don't keep a UV light in his inside cage, because he gets so much vitamin D. Right, Puff? My daughter gave me permission to film this. This is her new art nook. The story goes is that her boyfriend likes to play video games, so they have to keep the room dark. But she wants to do her art and she needs light. So they did something genius in their room, and they put up blackout curtains, blacking out this whole area. And she put a little monitor, her paint supplies. There's a couple of works in progress going on here. That's her with the mask. Don't ask me why. Her new plants. And then this is one of my favorite whips that she has. Tell me what medium you think she's using for this. Look at these eyes. And she's not even done. It's only a whip. Now you tell me, what is she using? She's done this entirely watercolors. That's all she uses, is pure watercolor. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell for all notifications. For another video just like this one, I recommend this. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Keep on coloring.